What up guys, Alchemist Does Anime here, and this is Spiral Abyss Chamber 3, how I got Xiangling pretty much cheesing through this whole thing. My team was definitely, I wouldn't say underleveled by a long shot, but more than enough to be treated like anything that hits me would pretty much just be an insta-kill. And I tell you, the challenges of what this was, I wasn't ready for this at all. Maybe the hardest thing that I've challenged at this point was the Spiral Abyss, and still to this day probably is the hardest thing I've challenged is the Spiral Abyss, because it keeps on gradually getting stronger as you get stronger as well. With that being said and done, let's get right into the damn thing. Anyway, these are the people I picked, and we're right into round one of this thing. Now, you know, the first one usually is easy, even if you're doing it on any random floor. Usually the first one's relatively easy, but you can still see how much damage I've taken. This is around the halfway point of this whole thing anyway, and you know, the slimes are pretty much all done. If you can work together, especially with this one, if you're new, try to get, if you get lucky enough to get two animal characters together, oh my goodness, it's crazy. If not, utilize the first character that you have. She can really be overpowered as hell, and she honestly is a 5-star. If you don't think she is, she definitely is a 5-star character that everyone gets, or he, depending on which gender you pick. Now going to round two, this one I started running out of time just because I didn't realize how to cheese this. And I started thinking, how am I going to cheese this? And I realized you can push a lot of people off the edge. So I spent a lot of time just doing that. And with animal damage, most animal related characters do with some kind of push or pull kind of setup. So if you can usually pull them close to the edge, you can usually juggle them with other characters. Like I have Barbara here, which Barbara at this point was one of the strongest characters on my roster. And then going into Sucrose, I really love Sucrose, and I do think she's super underrated. You should definitely give her a try if you do get her. If you're looking for animal damage or someone who can really just be the AoE queen, she is that for sure. No one at this point in time is better when it comes to AoE damage than her when it comes to wind animal. And I think maybe even AoE damage in general. But you can always switch back to Barbara, which is all. I can always rely on Barbara to do a good job on keeping the team healed up. Even if you switch from her, you can have the other characters that you're trying to work on getting their health back a little quicker, per se, if you use if you're using someone else. These guys are definitely annoying as hell, and I hated fighting these guys, quite honestly. But you can see that I'm doing a lot of damage with Beidou. I just got Beidou at this point, her and Sucrose I just got at this point, and you can see they're just getting smashed up here. As much as I'm doing, I'm not doing enough, but I can kind of survive. I can kind of survive because I have Beidou and I have Barbara, and they just make it work for me completely. And I think you have to stay consistent on these guys. So what you can do, and I didn't realize at the time, is that you can keep on comboing out of, you can actually animation cancel, and that's exactly what I started doing after learning about this. And he's got cliffed. I didn't have to finish off killing him. I just had to push him off for the most part. But I am now at this point where both of my AoE damages are gone. And in Spiral Abyss, you lose characters. You can't get them back with healing. It's not like a regular dungeon or anything else. You cannot use health items to get people back. You can't revive people to get people back. I think that with certain perks down the line, I think with Barbara, she has a perk that may get people back for being a healer. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. But here you see that even with everything in me, I still found a way to fail this because I just wasn't utilizing Barbara properly, and at the same time I also lost Beidou. So tried all over again, and when I tell you this is one of the most clutch victories you may ever get in this game, it really is saying a lot, because I survived in this thing at the last hair. And I'll show you as we go through this here, because this video is pretty much almost done, but I want to show you guys just what it took to get through this. So the next 26 seconds is just me smashing up and trying to do as much damage as I can possible, and then also adding on electricity damage alongside hydro damage does so much work to people, especially electricity and like fire to overcharge. Overcharge does a lot of damage, so anytime you can just double down as much as possible. You see me dodging in between shots there because it doesn't cost me anything. I'm at 5 seconds left. Look at his health. Look at his health. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. When I took the last second of it all, I survived at the last possible second of it all. That's saying a lot. Now at this point, my team isn't some decked out team or anything of that sort. They're just leveled up. They have, the accessories are barely even touched at this point. No one has any necessarily unlocked talents just yet. I don't even think that any of these people even had, besides Fischl, everyone else had their constellations that hasn't been touched yet. And at this point, I wasn't even using Fischl because I thought she was just too slow for the situation. She probably would have been fine for this ending piece, though. She honestly probably would have cleaned up a lot on the big guy at the end there, just to keep the Ruin Hunters out the way. It was crazy. Getting to this point was absolutely insane. When I tell you the most clutch victory was this one early on, I really do mean that. It was something special for sure. And as going through that, I realized, man, I need to step my game up. And that's where this is where I realized Genshin Impact really was like, hey, it's time to step up or get stepped on.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Xiangling. I'm a chef from Liyue. My favorite place is the chicken. I mean, the kitchen. I practice so hard, but I still get nervous when introducing myself.
And that's how I got Xiangling. A lot of people may have gotten her a lot easier. I always think of alternate ways to get through things, and as long as you have some, as long as you realize what you can and can't do in a video game, or even in real life and in situations, if you realize what you can and can't do, you can probably get a lot more stuff done than you think you ever could. I always look at alternate ways to find things and get to stuff, but with that being said and done, there's always another way to get to things. Just keep on trying, and keep on getting better. Other than that, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for watching 5 minutes of my new channel, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Until then, peace out and good shit.